Most people trying to clone their fruit trees are throwing away good cuttings every single season, and they don't even know why they keep failing. The problem isn't the tree, it isn't the season. It's one simple mistake that almost every backyard grower makes, and today, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it using nothing more than a single plastic bottle. If you're serious about growing peaches, apples, and pears, and you want real, field-tested tips like this every single week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. This channel is built for growers who want results, not just theory. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a method that professional nurseries have been quietly using for years. By the time this video is done, you'll know how to take a cutting from any of your best fruit trees, set it up in about 10 minutes, and get roots forming reliably without expensive equipment, without a greenhouse, and without any of the complicated rooting solutions that most videos push on you. This works in hot climates, cold climates, and everything in between. Let's get into it. Here's the reality most growers don't want to admit. They take a cutting, dip it in rooting powder, stick it in some soil, cover it with a plastic bag, and then wait. 2 weeks later, nothing. 3 weeks, still nothing. They assume the cutting died, toss it, and blame the variety or the time of year. But the cutting didn't fail because of the variety. It failed because of the environment it was sitting in. Specifically, the humidity around that cutting was not controlled, the moisture in the rooting medium dried out unevenly, and the temperature swings between day and night stressed the cutting before it even had a chance to form a callus. I've seen this happen on small hobby farms and on large commercial blocks. People are often shocked when I tell them that the actual rooting process isn't the hardest part. Keeping the cutting alive long enough to root is the hard part. The other big mistake I see is growers taking cuttings at the wrong stage of growth. They grab a shoot that's either too young and soft, or they wait until it's fully hardened off and woody. Both extremes make rooting much harder. The sweet spot, what we call semi-hardwood, is a cutting that has grown out this season, started to firm up, but still has a little flexibility when you bend it. That's the cutting that roots. That's the one you want. Now let me explain why the bottle method works, because once you understand the biology behind it, you'll never go back to the plastic bag technique again. When a cutting is taken from a tree, it immediately goes into survival mode. It has no roots, so it can't take up water from the soil. The only way it survives is by absorbing moisture directly through its stem and through the few leaves you've left on it. If the air around that cutting dries out, even for a few hours on a warm afternoon, the cutting desiccates. That stress triggers the plant to put all its energy into survival rather than into forming roots. What a plastic bottle does is create a sealed microclimate around the cutting. The humidity inside that bottle stays near 100%. The cutting never dries out. Temperature fluctuations are buffered. And here's the really important part, because you've buried the bottom of the bottle slightly in the growing medium, there's no gap at the base for dry air to sneak in. The cutting is essentially living in its own little controlled environment. Peaches, apples, and pears all respond extremely well to this, especially when you combine it with the right rooting medium and a bit of bottom warmth. The biology is simple. When a plant cutting is held in high humidity with adequate moisture at the base, the plant begins forming what's called a callus at the cut end, a mass of undifferentiated cells. From that callus, root initials develop. This process typically takes anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, depending on the variety, the time of year, and the temperature. Peaches tend to root faster than apples in my experience. Pears can be a little slower, but the bottle method dramatically improves success rates across all three. So here's exactly how I do it, step by step, the same way I've been doing it on my farm for years. Step 1. Choose your cuttings carefully. Wait until your new season growth has hardened slightly. You want a shoot that's about the thickness of a pencil, maybe a touch thinner. It should be firm but not completely woody. Cut it at an angle, about 15 to 20 centimeters long, just below a node. That angled cut gives you more surface area for rooting and also helps water run off rather than sitting and rotting on the cut end. Take your cuttings early in the morning when the plant is fully hydrated. Wrap them immediately in a damp cloth or a wet paper towel and work quickly. Step 2. Prepare your cuttings. Strip all the leaves off the bottom 2/3 of the cutting. Leave just 2 or 3 small leaves at the very top, enough to photosynthesize a little, but not so many that the cutting loses moisture trying to support too much leaf area. Make a second fresh cut at the base, again at an angle, right before you treat it. This fresh cut is important because the previous cut will have started to oxidize and seal over within minutes. Step 3. Apply your rooting hormone. I use a gel-based rooting hormone because it sticks to the cutting better than powder in humid conditions. Dip the bottom 2 centimeters of the cutting and coat it thoroughly. If you only have powder, that's fine. Dip the moistened end into the powder, tap off the excess, and move quickly. Step 4. Prepare your rooting medium. I mix 50% coarse perlite and 50% coconut coir. This combination drains well enough that roots don't rot, but it holds enough moisture that the base of the cutting stays consistently damp. Fill a small pot. A 15-centimeter pot works perfectly. With this mix, moisten it thoroughly and make a hole in the center with a pencil or a stick before inserting the cutting. Don't just push the cutting in. You'll scrape off your rooting hormone. Insert it carefully. Firm the medium gently around the base. Step 5. The bottle. Take a clear 2-liter plastic bottle and cut the bottom off it completely. Remove the cap from the top. Push the bottle down over your cutting until the cut bottom edge is sitting about 2 centimeters into the rooting medium. This creates a seal. The open top acts as a vent. It lets out excess heat on very warm days but still maintains high humidity inside. If you're in a particularly hot climate and you're seeing condensation dripping excessively, just place a loose piece of cloth over the open top to slow the airflow slightly. Step 6. Placement. Put your potted cutting somewhere it gets bright, indirect light. Direct sun through the bottle will cook it. A spot with morning sun and afternoon shade is ideal. I put mine against the east-facing wall of my shed. Bottom heat speeds up the process significantly. Even sitting the pot on a piece of black plastic sheeting that absorbs warmth from the ground can make a noticeable difference. Step 7. Leave it alone. Check the moisture of the rooting medium every few days by lifting the pot. If it feels light, water gently from the bottom by setting the pot in a shallow tray of water for 20 minutes. Do not overhead water inside the bottle. Do not pull the cutting to check for roots. Do not lift the bottle unless you absolutely have to. Leave it for at least 4 weeks before you check anything. Now I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want to hear your answer in the comments. What's the one fruit tree on your property that you most want to clone? The one tree that produces so well you wish you had 10 of it. Drop the name of that tree below. I read every comment on this channel, and I want to know what you're working with. After about 4 weeks, start watching for small new leaf buds appearing on the cutting. New leaf growth is almost always a sign that rooting has begun because the cutting needs roots to support that new growth. Give it another week after you see new leaves before you do anything. Then gently lift the bottle off and check the drainage holes at the bottom of the pot for emerging white root tips. If you see roots, congratulations, you've successfully cloned your tree. If you don't yet see roots at the drainage holes, but the cutting still looks healthy and green, pop the bottle back on and give it another 2 weeks. Once roots are established and you can see them coming out of the base, it's time to start hardening the cutting off. Don't just rip the bottle off and put it in full sun. That will shock it. Start by leaving the top off the bottle for a few hours each morning for a week. Then remove the bottle entirely, but keep it in a sheltered, shaded spot for another week. Then gradually move it into more light. This slow transition from a humid microclimate to normal outdoor conditions is what separates successfully rooted cuttings from ones that die just when you think you've won. When the cutting has been hardened off and is actively pushing new growth, you can pot it up into a larger container with good quality potting mix or plant it directly into a prepared bed. At this point, treat it like a young tree. Consistent moisture, some protection from extreme weather, and a light application of a balanced fertilizer to get it established. Here is something that most guides never tell you, and it took me years of observation on my own trees to figure this out. The single biggest predictor of rooting success isn't the rooting hormone, and it isn't even the season. It's the mother tree's condition at the time you take the cutting. Trees that are under stress, whether from drought, pest pressure, nutrient deficiency, or disease, produce cuttings that root poorly, even when you do everything else perfectly. The carbohydrate reserves in the cutting, which is what it runs on before roots form, are directly tied to how well fed and healthy the mother tree was in the weeks before you took that cutting. So if you know you're going to be taking propagation material, give your best trees a little extra attention in the month before, a good watering, a light potassium feed, and make sure they're disease-free. The quality of your cuttings will be noticeably better, and your rooting rates will improve dramatically. Let me also quickly run through the mistakes I see most often, because even with the right method, these will kill your results. The first is taking cuttings that are too long. A cutting over 25 centimeters has too much stem to support without roots, and it will exhaust itself before callousing begins. The second mistake is leaving too much leaf. More than 3 small leaves, and you're asking the cutting to transpire more water than it can absorb. Reduce the leaf area. Cut large leaves in half if you have to. The third is using a rooting medium that's too rich. Garden soil, compost-heavy mixes. These compact, don't drain, and encourage rot. Pure perlite and coir is the way to go. The fourth is checking too early. I understand the urge to peek. Resist it. Every time you disturb the cutting, you risk damaging the fragile callus and early root initials that are just beginning to form. The fifth is putting the bottle in direct sun. The greenhouse effect inside that bottle will hit temperatures that will literally cook your cutting within an hour on a warm day. Bright, indirect light only. And the sixth, probably the most common, is giving up too soon. Some cuttings take 8 weeks. Peaches and apples from older, harder wood can take longer than you expect. If the cutting is still green, still firm, and not showing any sign of rot, keep going. Every tree on your farm is a resource. Every branch you prune, every shoot you cut back, that's a potential new tree, a potential new row, or a potential gift to a fellow grower. The bottle method I've shown you today costs almost nothing, takes about 10 minutes to set up, and when done correctly, will give you rooting rates that will genuinely surprise you. I've seen peach cuttings root at over 80% success using this exact approach. That's not luck. That's the result of controlling the environment and respecting what the cutting needs. If you got something out of this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Every week on this channel, I put out practical, experience-based content on peach farming, fruit tree management, and small-scale commercial growing. No fluff, no filler, just what actually works. And if you've got a friend who's been struggling with fruit tree propagation, send them this video. It might save them a whole season of frustration. Next week, I'm going to be talking about the best time of year to take cuttings from your fruit trees for each specific variety, because the timing is not the same for peaches, apples, and pears. And getting it wrong by even a few weeks can cut your success rate in half. You don't want to miss that one.